Don't vote for Nazis, kids.
Hey everybody, this is your friend Siege, and on behalf of the guys at 5 Reasons Sports, I'd like to thank you for listening to our ridiculousness. You can follow the show on Twitter at FLManMurders and on Instagram at FloridaManMurdersPod. Follow Chris on Twitter at ByChrisJoseph and on Instagram at ChrisJoseph13. Give Roger a follow on Twitter at DatRoroKid. And you can find me on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, OnlyFans, whatever, all at Siegeness. Do us a solid and hit that subscribe button. Give us a rating, 5 stars if you're feeling sassy. Leave us a comment and let us know what mysterious Florida mayhem you'd like to hear us talk about. Tell your friends, tell your enemies, steal a stranger's phone and subscribe for them. The only way this grows is with your help. Love you. Mean it. Bye.
Nazis have no game? You don't say. Object shot blob reddish glowing material at his face. His alibi was a murder.
I mean, yes.
I couldn't have done it because I was killing somebody else. At the
Yo,
same
those 3
time.
bodies aren't on me because this one was, all right? Oh, yes. Oh, yes. This guy just goes to strip clubs.
Fire gun twice in the air for yes, once for no.
Okay.
Scotty Champagne.
Stop joshing and just answer us, goddammit. You ain't got time for this.
You joshing us.
There are so many blowjobs in this one. I feel like you picked this out just for me.
Yeah, we've been fucking. We really say, what gives?
That really smarts. Joey told the cops that the clown's eyes were brown.
His nose is red. His hair orange.
It was bulbous.
Big shoes. Big red shoes.
There you go, Tanakita Boy Scout Reservation. Tanakita.
In the town of Nikita, baby.
I just had a THC cookie.
Ooh,
See how this
Oh,
goes.
all right.
this one's going off the rails.
Oh, it tastes chalky as shit.
My mouth is already dry. And here I am out of Capri Suns.
All right.
Okay.
Episode 51.
What?
This is the story of how Nazis almost won the war in Miami.
Oh, what?
Topical. Great generals, I hear. Great generals.
Dateline 2024.
We should all talk about and celebrate as if we know anything about history. We just fucking rattle off dumb fucking shit. And we pretend to know things and we don't actually know anything about them.
Dateline Mar-a-Lago 2024.
Dateline Mar-a-Lago 2026.
2016.
Yeah, Dayline. Shit's already kicking.
Oh,
Woo!
Miami,
get lit.
Florida, New York City, the UK, Germany, 1940 and 1941.
oh, that's a real Dateline. 1940, 1941, World War II.
1940, 1941. UK, Germany, Miami, Florida, New York City.
News much is on.
Adolf Hitler disposes of the Weimar Republic.
The Yankee troops were marching their way through Western Europe.
Meanwhile, North Africa.
In the early 1930s, a Florida man named John Charles Post ran a successful fishing and sightseeing charter on his boat, the Echoes of the Past.
That boat's that's a real like downer boat name. You know,
Yeah,
so like,
echoes of the past. It's like all
sound
the
like
fun
the-
things and good things in my life are gone.
sound like the Juicy Pussy 2 or something like that. So forlorn. God. Echoes of the past.
The boat,
Well,
the Echoes of the Past, was docked in Miami and made its way across and through the Miami waterway on a daily basis. Post was well known among locals who would call him Captain Jack.
Oh no. Is it Kurt Russell?
It's me, Jack Sparrow, man. Jack Sparrow, man. Yeah.
Captain Jack, he enjoyed his work,
Sorry.
but business was slow. In late 1935, he sold the Echoes of the Past and opened a parking lot near West Flagler Kennel Club.
Oh my
The
god.
worst business.
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm starting my own business. What is it? Opening a parking lot.
Dog
Oh.
racing.
That's how
Exciting.
bad
It's your
boating is, I
dream.
guess. Charting boats.
Yeah.
It's a low bar. He also got a full-time
Wow.
job as a cook at the Greyhound Club, which is a popular hangout for servicemen in the Opa-locka Naval Air Station.
Oh my god. Going from owning your own boat business to being a cook in Opa-locka.
Post settled into his new
Awesome.
life with his wife and would often serve as a voter registration clerk in the local precinct.
Nerd.
Loser. He and his wife led quiet lives, and kept mostly to themselves. Though Post would often be spotted heading to his mailbox to drop off letters for a friend he corresponded with, who lived in New York.
Post. Drop it off.
There's
Post-
an
post-
it's there.
Feel it. I can feel
Post.
it.
All right, I got it. Posting mail.
There you go.
Okay, thank you.
we made it. We've arrived.
Comedy ensues. Allow yourselves to laugh.
We're a comedy podcast.
Yes.
Then one day in July 1941, a man and woman appeared in Miami and paid a visit to Post. Many suspected that this man was the friend Post would correspond with, who lived in New York. And the two men were seen huddled for lengthy talk.
Many suspected that this was the friend he mailed letters to.
Yeah, this is
So,
back
like,
when
the whole town
locals
knows that he just mails letters.
people
to people
didn't
in New
do
York.
shit but like get into other people's shit. Just fucking
Oh, so you
Pretty
mailed the
lust,
letters, huh?
choose
this
media
guy,
up the
huh?
ass, you know?
Is this your fella? Is this the fella you're mailing
It's
to?
your friend, huh?
Exactly.
You guys about to have a good, close,
Yeah,
and
hi.
personal talk,
So
huh?
fucking nosy.
I'm Bill.
Jesus.
So, yeah, the two men huddled for a lengthy talk, and following that meeting, the man and woman drove off. But the visit had left Captain Jack Post visibly disturbed.
Short visit, huh? From your friend? From the mailing, the posting?
You're not looking so good there.
What's wrong? Your
Yeah.
skin tone's a little white.
Jack.
You look a little peaked. So, so a couple of weeks later, FBI agents showed up to Post's door, and they arrested him.
Oh,
Oh,
No.
Neighbors looked on in shock and confusion as the mild-mannered Captain Jack was led away in handcuffs.
he was always such a nice guy. Kept quiet, kept to himself, except he kept mailing this one guy in New York.
I'll tell you what, that friend of his, ever since then,
He was here for just a short time.
Captain Jack was aces before that. Let me tell you.
The next day after he was arrested, the Miami Herald ran a front-page story on the arrest of
God.
Wow.
Wow. No news back then. No wonder we started fucking killing people and having drugs going everywhere.
Let the story let me finish the sentence.
No.
Good God. Oh, okay. Man arrested.
Man arrested
You know the one.
for New York friend coming
Yeah,
down
that one.
I mean, I'm
and
not
having
just
too short of a conversation.
I'm not just talking about some guy named Jack Post. There's a whole point to all of this.
Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
Could have fooled us.
So the next day, the Miami Herald ran a front page story on the arrest of a, quote, stationary agent for a major Nazi spy ring. The photo that accompanied
Okay, I see.
the photo that accompanied the article was that of Jack Post, but the name in the caption read Karl Hermann Schroeder. Schroeder.
That seems
Schroeder.
German to me.
Schweinsteiger.
Just naming old random German soccer players.
Sebastian Schweinsteiger.
Jürgen Klinsmann.
Hey, you're gonna clean
So
the German coach that smells his ass. What's his name? I forget. That guy.
oh my
Bayern
god,
Munich.
smelled his own balls. Schroeder was held under a $25,000 bond, and he protested his innocence. I am innocent. He claimed he was a, quote, victim of circumstances. And he also blamed his friend who had visited from New York.
Oh,
Told you.
I knew the guy had something to do with it.
Schroeder revealed that the man who he knew from New York was a German-American named Kurt Friedrich Ludwig.
Kurt.
No.
Ludwig,
Okay.
who was born in Fremont, Ohio, moved to Germany as a child in 1909. And in
Adopted the German name.
in 1938, he was arrested in Austria for spying. But when the Nazis rose to power and took over Austria, Ludwig was freed and made a Nazi spy.
No.
His assignment was to move to New York and set up a massive spy ring. Dun, dun, dun.
Dun,
Schroeder-
dun, dun.
Schroeder, meanwhile, was born in Switzerland, and he went to school in Germany, and he moved to Miami in 1913, became a citizen, changing his
Wow.
name to John Post.
Man. OG. What an OG guy. Fuck.
Schroeder insisted he was merely a Swiss German who moved to America to start a new life. But
I'm just here for the chocolates.
But the FBI discovered that he had made several trips to visit his sister in Germany, and that the latest trip coincided with Adolf Hitler's 1939 invasion of Poland.
My sister is Adolf Hitler.
We don't like coincidences. You damn kraut. They
It's Indiana Chris over here.
fucking Nazis. I hate those guys. They turned
Nazis. I hate them more than snakes.
Nice. That's a good Harrison
great
Ford.
Harrison Ford.
Thank
Really
you.
good. You're like an older
The
one.
grizzly older
Grizzle.
guy.
Yeah.
That's all I do.
They also learned that before his return to Miami, a Nazi official contacted him and suggested to get in touch with Ludwig in New York. And that's when Schroeder began his frequent correspondence with Ludwig between 1940 and 1941. Then, Schroeder and Ludwig's German girlfriend, Lucy Baumler, drove to New York, from New York to Key West.
All right.
It's a long fucking drive.
Hell
Wow.
yeah.
Jesus
New
Christ.
York to Key
Hell of a
West.
drive.
On their road trip, the three of them would take photos of defense plants and Army and Navy bases.
Like all the way.
Lucy was German, had German in her, but she's an attractive young blonde, 18-year-old high school graduate from Queens.
So she could take pictures of whatever she wants.
Yes. She was described as a, quote, Teutonic image of uncommon beauty and with some essential cold-bloodedness.
Oh, I like it.
She makes a perfect Nazi.
She's
She
going
had
to
this-
kill me.
She said that she had decided to join the Nazi spy ring because it sounded like a lot of fun.
Oh,
And I'm a racist.
parties are excellent. I love it.
And it works perfect, actually. It's fun and racy. Racism-y.
Lucy was used by Schroeder and Ludwig to lure hitchhiking servicemen, mainly lonely soldiers and sailors, who would then freely give her information about military bases and units.
Mm.
So she'd fuck them and then get some info out of them, essentially.
Win-win.
Information was gathered and then sent through via letters signed by the codename Joe K.
Joke.
Each letter was sent via mail to addresses in Spain, Portugal, Argentina, and Germany. And letters of the highest priority were sent to a man named Manuel Alonso, which turned out to be an alias for Heinrich Himmler, Hitler's right-hand man.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Authorities in the US and the UK were completely unaware of this Nazi spy ring operating out of New York and Miami. That is until the British Secret Service were able to intercept a letter written to a Lothar Frederick, signed by Joe K. The British Secret Service found the two names to be so weird that they had to look into them.
That's it. That's what tipped him off.
That's what tipped them off. The Lothar Frederick? What the fuck is that?
Yeah. Never heard of that.
And who signs
Look into that
letters
one.
Joe K?
Joe, obviously.
Coach Krzyzewski.
They will never understand that it means joke because we think they are jokes.
The joke is on
This is our
them.
humor. Our humor is not good, no.
No, you don't think we are funny now?
We are known for our comedy, yes.
Yeah, so the further investigation revealed that the name of Lothar Frederick was in fact an alias for Reinhard Heydrich.
What?
Heydrich was one of the highest ranking German SS and Nazi police officials, and he also turned out to be one of the main architects of the Holocaust. So the British Secret Service, their hunch on the weird names proved to be correct. A Nazi spy ring was operating in the US and headed by one of the biggest pieces of shit Nazi officials under Hitler's command. Fucking Heydrich, motherfucker. From that point on, British and US officials would intercept any letter sent from Joe K.
Oh, it's a good thing we figured it out.
They would carefully open each letter, read them, then reseal them with glue so that the recipients would not detect any evidence of tampering.
Amazing.
Amazing
Real-
spy work.
Real high tech.
God, it's like CSI.
I didn't get that steamer.
Despite all this, U.S. and British officials were still in the dark as to who was involved in the spy ring because the letters didn't reveal that much or they were coded, so they were difficult to break. So they tasked a British spy named William Siebold to hunt down the Nazi spies.
That's a good name.
William Siebold. So, with the knowledge that the letters were coming from New York and Miami, Siebold and a couple of FBI agents first focused their search in New York. While there, Siebold was able to track down and arrest nearly 33 suspected Nazi agents. But Kurt Ludwig remained elusive.
Fuck that guy.
Indeed. Then one day, one of Siebold's team members, a female British agent working in Bermuda,
Ooh.
began... Ooh. Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Mrs. Kingdonton, hello. Agent Kingsington.
We are part of the Bermuda Triangle.
She began to study one particular Joe K. letter out of really just boredom. She had a stack of them. She started looking through them. And she decided to have the letter chemically tested just to see what popped up. And through that chemical testing, she discovered
Heroin.
that there is a secret message on the back of the letter written in invisible ink.
Oh,
How do we not see invisible ink?
I think visible
Like, I
ink...
know this is the 40s, but like,
Yeah.
we're kind of dumb at this point, aren't we?
I don't know. I guess... I mean, it's invisible. So
Like, you can see it though.
we start there.
You can see it.
I've heard invisible ink is made with urine. Is that true?
Maybe you're invisible, Ink, but not mine.
I do drink a lot of water. All right. That's good. Comedy's all about timing.
I do drink a lot of water. Sunglasses.
Hey. So stupid. So she had the rest of the letters she had in her stack sent to the same lab so she could test them for invisible ink, and found they all had the same types of secret messages. So again, a decision based purely on a hunch opened up a massive door for these people. The invisible ink messages were way more blatant, and real names were used in the messages. And the name that kept popping up again and again in these messages was Kurt Ludwig.
Oh,
Dun dun dun.
motherfucker.
So she immediately notified her boss, William Siebold.
I am definitely not picking that guy for this episode.
Ludwig?
he sounds a little shady right off the bat. Huh?
Right?
What gave it away?
So Siebold orders men to find Ludwig, but that proved difficult. Again, Ludwig was an elusive Nazi motherfucker.
He was an illusion.
He's a slippery mofo. The investigation then hit a cold spell. Many months went by. They couldn't find any more leads. They had a name and a photo, but they couldn't pin down Ludwig's whereabouts. All they knew was that he resided in New York and often flew to and from Miami.
How many airlines were there going to and from Miami back then?
That's a good question. One. Just follow that one plane.
Heavily- Yeah, they were heavily regulated back then.
It was just a single plane. It was the Red Baron.
Yeah, 2 flights, 2 Pan Am flights every day. That's it. But where is he?
Eastern.
On March 18th, 1941. March 18th, 1941. 2 men were standing near an intersection of a busy section of Times Square in New York. And one of the men, a middle-aged man who wore black horn-rimmed glasses and carried a brown briefcase.
Perfect.
Like every character in Indiana Jones.
And the other man began to argue about how best to cross such a heavy intersection. The glasses and briefcase man said you could just cross at any time the traffic lightened up.
You just walk whenever you want. No, you have to push the button. No,
That's exactly
telling
what's
you,
happening.
you just walk and they will stop for
stop.
you. Not in this city. Have you ever been to this city before? You have to push a button.
That is excellent. That is exactly how this all went down. Yeah,
I have that dialogue.
he said, yeah, you can cross at any time. And the other guy was like, are you insane? That's too dangerous. The best thing to do is just wait for the traffic lights to stop, for the red light. And the glasses and briefcase man said that just took too long. And they just went back and forth, just arguing this dumb shit. So after several minutes of arguing, the glasses and briefcase man decided, fuck it, he would test his theory, and he just walked out into the street.
Ooh.
Just as he stepped out of the intersection, a massive wave of cars came barreling down. A yellow cab driver named Sam Lichtman was
Yes.
he was among the cars driving down 45th Street, and he never saw the little man in glasses with a briefcase. He would later go on to say that the man just darted in front of his cab.
Hey, can't you see we're driving here?
I'm walking here.
I told you to wait for the lights. The light changed 3 times when we were arguing. We could have went the whole time, but you did not wait. Now you run out and you die.
In a panic, Lichtman veered his cab to avoid hitting the man, but he was too late. The cab hit the glasses and briefcase man, sending him flying several feet into the air,
Amazing.
where he was then thrown under the wheels of another car.
Oh, yes.
Just a fucking mess. As traffic halted, as traffic halted to
My bad.
As traffic halted to a stop and pedestrians ran over to see if the glasses and briefcase man was okay, The other guy he had been arguing with snuck into the fray in confusion and picked up the briefcase his companion had dropped when he got hit by the cab.
Hey, that guy just robbed that guy.
You see that?
Somebody stop him.
The man just disappeared into the crowd with the briefcase. Glasses and Briefcase Man, meanwhile, was rushed to St. Vincent's Hospital where he died from his wounds the next day.
Ooh,
Um,
man.
All because he wouldn't wait for the goddamn walk light.
Pretty much. It's an impatient little man. So
what you
Glasses,
get.
Glasses and Briefcase Man was identified as a courier for the Spanish consulate named Don Julio Lopez Lido. His body was unclaimed until the Spanish consulate of New York finally signed for it and then buried him.
Wow, so he didn't have a German accent after all.
So meanwhile,
No, I did not.
meanwhile, the man he had been
Pues que no.
Soy de España.
Soy de España.
Soy de España. Y faltamos that. Meanwhile, the man he had been arguing with, who took his briefcase, had been calling the Taft Hotel where Lido had been staying, unaware that Lido was dead. When hotel personnel notified the man that Lido had never returned to the room, the man asked them to hold the room until further notice. So the New York City cops who had arrived at the scene of the accident in Times Square were putting the final touches on their report. They visited Lido's room at the Taft Hotel, where they noted something odd about the victim. All of Lido's papers were in German,
Oh,
not Spanish.
Oh, so-
maybe he did have a German accent after all.
oops.
A notebook they found had contained names and what looked like assignments for some U.S. soldiers. Also, his clothes contained no labels. As they dug deeper through his stuff, they found maps, articles on military aviation, and other curious items. And the cops decided to call the FBI, who then turned all this information over to William Siebold. So Siebold told his men to monitor any new letters from Joe K. that mentioned the death of a man hit by a cab in New York City. In a mere matter of days, a letter showed an invisible ink message written seemingly in a panic. The letter spoke about a car in New York that had run down and killed their man. The letter also revealed Lido's real name as Captain Ulrich von der Osten of the German Secret Service.
Deutschland till I die.
Mein Führer.
Siebold and his men were able to find out that von der Osten had entered the U.S. via Japan a month prior to his removal from circulation. He had been tasked with directing the activities of a group of spies in the U.S., but now that he was dead, the next man up to lead the group was Kurt Frederick Ludwig.
Ludwig, you motherfucker.
Next man up, Ludwig.
Man's just here for the chocolate.
That's what we do in this locker room. The next man up. That is our attitude.
Moreover, van der Osten, his notebooks contained numbers and addresses associated with Ludwig. Through this information, Siebold then had the FBI agents keep 24-hour surveillance on Ludwig. They found him
Ah!
through Osten's notebooks. So while keeping tabs on Ludwig, the agents followed him on several trips. His first trip to Miami was to Miami, where he made contact with John Post, a.k.a. Karl Hermann Schroeder.
I'm just a boat driver.
In his meeting with Schroeder, Ludwig told him the heat was on, and they needed to take Captain Jack's boat, Echoes of the Past, and sail it to Cuba to escape back to Germany.
The heat is on.
But Schroeder was like, shit, I sold my boat.
This boat will
Yeah.
not make it to Germany. This
Sorry.
boat
But I
will
have a
hardly
parking
make it to Nassau.
I do have a nice parking lot, if that's something that helps. Is he something that helps you? I don't know. So he told Ludwig that they could head down to the Keys to buy a new boat. So Ludwig then was pissed. He returned to New York to retrieve some vital papers and then headed to Seattle by car.
What?
From New York.
These guys are
This
cheap.
guy loves driving.
These are real cheap.
First off, we can't buy a boat in Miami or anywhere like
must be in Key
adjacent.
West.
We have
Yeah.
to go all the way down to Key West to get a
Mhm.
boat.
Yeah. The furthest point
Which
possible.
at that time you had to drive all the way up to Miami to get parts for any boats anyway.
Yeah. And he won't fly anywhere. He just drives everywhere.
I'm just gonna drive
I
to
suppose
Seattle.
we must drive all the way to Seattle.
We'll drive to the furthest possible point away from where we are in the contiguous United States.
And the FBI agents had to follow him. So they're like, fuck, really? God damn.
Bitch.
Honey, it's
Shit.
gonna be a while.
I hate Nazis.
Fucking pack my shit and get in my car and follow this asshole.
Oh.
Siebold and his other agents then got busy busting up the Nazi ring. In the end, it became the largest espionage case in United States history that ended in convictions.
Estados Unidos.
A total of 33 members of the Nazi German espionage network were arrested and convicted. 33 members.
Fuck those guys.
As this was going on and Ludwig was driving to Seattle, he then contacted his associates and told them to temporarily cease their activities in fear of being caught.
Heart! 9! Verboten!
And he had to do this on a payphone, I imagine. Ludwig drove along country roads through the Midwest at speeds of up to 90 miles an hour to get to Seattle as fast as he could.
Still took him 39 years.
Along the way, he stopped at a cabin in Yellowstone National Park in order to destroy any incriminating evidence by setting them on fire.
What a shitty way to go.
In a forest. In a very dry forest.
So he asked.
Smokey hated his ass.
So yeah, Ludwig had no way of starting a fire, so he went around asking park rangers if they had
Put
matches.
it in Old Faithful. Just shove it in Old Faithfuls.
He asked park rangers for matches, but they were like, "No, why
You
would we
cannot
carry
have
matches?"
Matches.
He then tried asking hikers if they had matches or cigarette lighters, but none of them did.
Magnifying glass. Anything.
I need to set these papers on fire. Can you please help me out?
He then tried to start a fire with the car's dashboard lighter and some paper, but that didn't work.
Oh,
He didn't think of that first. What a fucking idiot.
Well, it didn't work.
didn't work.
So he failed. He failed to
He's
destroy
a
the
bad
evidence.
Nazi.
Then I will keep the paper.
I mean, they're all fucking dumb. That's the whole.
Yeah. that's the running thing.
Yeah. So when Ludwig arrived, he just like, fuck it. He threw the papers back in the car and he drove. And then he arrived in Montana. He
Just tear them up into like really tiny little pieces, man. Just like,
Why
you know,
could
throw a little bit out your window here, a little bit here and there. You know,
Right.
just
Well, he also had like a
Whatever. I'm not gonna help you
shortwave,
out, Ludwig.
shortwave radio. He had like devices and shit. He also needed to get rid of.
Oh.
But he got to Montana and then he hid his car in a safe house and then he shipped his entire luggage except for the bare necessities to relatives to relatives on the East Coast. And he continued his journey by bus from that point.
This guy took the stupid way.
Wow.
So when the FBI found his car and they searched it, they found that he had left behind his shortwave radio receiver and the other evidence that he failed to burn.
Should just like, yeah, like burn the car
Can you
somehow.
imagine
like,
how many different
drive it off a fucking
Could have
cliff,
just
put a
buried
rock
in the desert
accelerator.
as a
you know
million
how,
things
how
going on.
many opportunities
Anything.
he would have had to get rid of stuff, to burn stuff, to buy a cigarette lighter if he had just taken historic Route 66?
But no.
Rub two
But
sticks
no, I have to go through Montana and Yellowstone National Park. I want to see the
I want to
national
see it all.
parks.
I need to see the
before I
sights.
go. America's so big. There's so many places. I want to see them all.
So when Ludwig arrived in Seattle, he decided that waiting for Schrader to find another boat would take too long. So Ludwig got on a ship bound for Japan.
What?
The longest way possible.
So while he was on the boat, Siebold ordered his men to move in and arrest him. And the FBI guys were like, fuck, finally. I have to think going all the way to fucking Japan.
I haven't seen my family in 7 years. Thank you.
So they went in, they arrested him. Back in Miami, FBI agents, as we started, they visited Schroeder at his home and arrested him right in front of his wife. His wife had no idea that her husband was a Nazi spy.
Bet that was pulling the rug out from underneath her.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
Isn't it
I'm
just
sorry.
some
What?
Local. She's like, we were just working so hard, and he had to sell his boat and become a line cook in Opalaka of all places.
Nope. Nazi.
You mean you had all this money and we had to live like this?
So Schroeder insisted that he was innocent. He kept saying he was innocent. But then the agents revealed to him that they had information about what he had done with Ludwig the last time Ludwig visited Miami. Captain Jack Schroeder had apparently provided vital information to Ludwig on the Opalaka Naval Air Station, the Richmond Air Base, as well as updates on a planned Miami air base. And Schroeder was given a chance to come clean, but he never did and was sentenced to 10 years in prison.
Yeah, that ought to do it.
Let's just go to Argentina after that.
Yeah, pretty much. Lucy was also arrested and she pled guilty and testified against Ludwig and Schroeder. And she was sentenced to 5 years in prison. Ludwig and most of the main 9-member of the ring drew the maximum of 20 years each.
20 years, the maximum?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good God.
We know how to get rid of our Nazis in this country. We know how
Yeah.
to make them pay.
Yeah.
Schroeder protested his sentence, saying, quote, "I was more or less pushed into this case.
They made me do it.
What I have done is to protect somebody's life. I agreed to get a boat for Ludwig, but then I was contacted. I refused to go through with it." Kurt Frederick Ludwig was sent to Alcatraz to serve out his sentence.
Nice.
Sexy.
Very cool place. I've been there. It's cool.
Mm.
He was released in 1953 and then deported back to Germany immediately. Back to Germany you go.
Yeah, well, thank you.
The
Thanks for letting me
motherland.
home.
Yeah. 10 days into serving his time in prison, Karl Hermann Schroeder removed a diaphragm from a pair of headphones and he slashed his wrists with it.
Wow.
He then hanged himself with a bedsheet
Oh.
tied to a utility pipe in his jail cell.
I am so strong, I cannot die just one way.
Yeah, that's 2 ways this guy took himself out. In June of 1942, Reinhard Heydrich, the chief Nazi official behind the spy ring and one of the architects of the Holocaust, was on his way to the airport after being ordered by Hitler to fly to Nazi-occupied France to help fight the rising French resistance. On his way to the airport, when Heydrich's car stopped at a red light, a Czech soldier emerged and tossed a converted anti-tank mine at the car.
Ooh.
Thinking that the man had thrown a rock or something heavy, Heydrich ordered his driver to chase the man down and bring him back. And he did. And then the Czech soldier turned and shot the driver, killing him. Then that's when the mine exploded and severely injured Heydrich. He was rushed to the hospital where doctors removed Heydrich's spleen and repaired a collapsed lung. But an infection took hold, and Hadric ended up dying a slow, painful death that lasted a couple of days, and he eventually died from sepsis.
Oh, good.
That's wonderful.
Fine.
A wonderful happy ending.
I am pooping into my chest. This is not right. You must fix this.
Yeah. And there you have it. That's how Nazis almost won the war in Miami. Because
Wow.
because Miami.
Always a Miami connection.
Yeah. And, the day of today's episode is election day, and I'm floored by how many stupid little things had to happen for them to catch these fucking Nazis, and how dumb the Nazis had to be to get caught. So all these little, like, coincidences had to happen for them to be stopped. And, we can do our part today if we haven't already. God damn it. And
if you haven't done it today, election day,
put it in
the day that this podcast comes out, then fuck you. You should have done it already.
or just get out there if you haven't. God damn it.
Yeah. This will post in the morning or
Okay,
early
so you got
afternoon
today to
time,
do it.
right?
And if you don't
early
do it,
morning.
then fuck you.
Fuck you. Yeah. This is serious shit.
Serious fucking shit, you guys.
Yeah, man.
Fucking fuck Nazis.
Get it together.
Fuck
Stop
Nazis.
voting for
Fuck
Nazis.
fascists.
Yeah.
Stupid idiots.
We're that close to having these fuckers win the war, and the right things had to happen in certain ways, and it didn't. They didn't win the war, so here we are again facing, I think, fascism, which is bad. It's bad.
Yeah, and smart people had to fucking pay attention to see all that shit happening to stop it.
Yeah.
So let's do the same today, huh?
Yes, please.
But it's gonna be a real stressful night tonight.
Stressful week.
Jesus fucking
probably.
Christ. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I already turned my ballot in like 2 weeks ago. So
There you go.
Nice.
I early voted, so
Yeah, I haven't
We'll
yet,
see.
but as of not the day that this is posted, the day of recording. We'll get it done this weekend. God damn it.
Roger's gonna vote the weekend after the election.
where is everybody?
We're recording this on a different day.
I want my sticker. Where's my sticker?
I want my sticker.
I have so many stickers. I still have a bunch of the stickers
I
I was
give you a
handing
sticker.
out during the primaries that say I farted instead of I voted.
Nice.
Oh. I don't know if that sends the same message that they're hoping to convey.
I mean, it looks like it says I voted.
I farted.
So
That's good enough. Good enough.
Sources for this story.
sauces.
Uh,
Give us the German sauces fast.
the book Florida's Past, Volume 2 by Jean M. Burnett.
Florida's past of Nazism.
A book Countering Spies, Saboteurs, and Terrorists by Thomas A. Repetto.
Wow.
Repeto.
It's a lot of P's and T's in his
Repeater.
name. No offense.
Repeto.
Article Florida Historical Quarterly, German Espionage in Florida During World War II by Leon Pryor. And a book, Reinhard Heydrich, Hangman of the Third Reich by Fred Raymond.
Wow.
And if you want to read a story about a Nazi dying a horrible, horrible death, you should read
Yes.
up on Heydrich's death. Get more details on it. It's pretty fucking cool and gnarly, and it's awesome because he died a painful death.
Yeah.
Same guy
It's
that
really
designed
good.
Hollywood.
When fascist Nazi fucks
Mhm.
die. Horrible,
Yeah.
painful deaths.
Amazing.
Hopefully soon. Very soon.
Yes.
I just miss punching Nazis.
Go and punch a Nazi today.
Can we bring that back?
Absolutely.
Am I allowed to do that?
Absolutely.
All right, thank
I'll
you.
bail you out if you get arrested.
Hell yes.
This cookie hasn't done shit.
Meanwhile,
Oh,
right after he ate it, he goes, "Holy crap!"
I mean,
As
Those
soon-
are usually famous last words.
Yeah.
And an hour from now, you're like,
as soon as the shit.
"Who was that?
Oh, fuck, my hand has got 8 fingers.
We're gonna get like weird pictures from under his balls, like while he's on his roof.
There's a galaxy in my balls, you guys.
Guess what this is, guys?
Oh my god, the entire universe is in here.
This is the future of humanity.
We've got it all wrong."
We don't need to travel outside of Earth. We need to go inside my balls.
The Florida Man Murders is a 5 Reasons sports production. Researched, written, and produced by Chris Joseph. Music by Roger Ramada. All source material can be found by visiting floridamanmurders.com. Thank you for listening. And remember, kids, only assholes murder. So, don't be an asshole.